If you woke up today and thought, oh man, I wonder if I'm going to see a Knotty video online, then, well, you're right. I'm going to teach you how to tie a knot here. And what we're going to do is tie a knot to fasten on this beautiful device called the BioElectric Shield. And we're going to tie an amazing knot. We're going to get a little knotty today. We're going to play with these knots. And we're going to keep this shield from falling off. Okay, now you may have already received a shield and the knots are already tied. As you can see, these are already tied. And the feature of this way of tying knots is that this is a little bit of a slip knot. So it's a double slip knot. You can see the slides really nicely. What I have here is a slick cotton cord, really, really nice. It's like a silky cord. And you can see as I pull, this gets to be a longer necklace. And as I pull the other direction, if I pull from here, I can make it a shorter necklace for the person wearing it, okay? So you get a feel for how that works. And I'm gonna show you how to tie that in case you have your own cord. Maybe you bought a BioElectric Shield a while ago and you didn't have a way to tie it like this. We're gonna talk about tying knots today. So, time to get knotty, let's do it. Now, I have in front of me a special cord that can have these little frayed ends on it. And so the first step here is to use a lighter. So who knew we were going to play with fire today? And kids, don't try this at home unless you have permission and you are with an adult, okay, who also likes to play with fire. Okay, so to go, we've just lit the end. Now we're going to be very careful when not burning Sam's fingers and close this off. And when we do, you'll see it ends up not being frayed at the end. Or if it didn't work, then you'd have to say, I'm afraid not. And the puns keep coming. Okay, so here's your cord. Now, step one here is you're going to tie on your BioElectric Shield. Now, in the case of this video, I've already tied this to another cord. I'm not going to untie that, but I want you to know the first step here is to attach your BioElectric Shield. So if we were going to do that, we would tie right through here. We would just connect right in the middle, just like that. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to untie it, but I want you to know that is step one. If you forget that, then at the end, you're going to have to untie one part of it, which is not as fun, definitely not as fun. Okay, not. Here we go. So I'm first starting just crossing these over each other. And I'm going to do my best to make this as clear as possible, but I realize that watching a video of this, not being able to get a 360 by 360 by 360 at every angle might be a little confusing. So I'll show you the first step here just as the theory. Okay, once we do the theory, then I'll show you the elegant way to tie this knot. The theory is we're just going to tie a knot around a cord. That's it. So imagine that I'm taking a regular top knot. Okay, this is just a regular knot over the top and tying it onto this cord. Okay, imagine that that's that simple. Now, that's not a very good tie because that's not going to last, okay? But you'll see that it does what we want. It gives us that slip knot effect, which is really cool, okay? This is a waxed thread here, so this one just has a little bit more texture to it. Obviously, you can burn the ends and do all that, so this is just one type. You might have a different type of cord, but this one is big enough that I can kind of show you how to tie it. So you can see it's just a knot around a cord. That's it. That's all I've done. And if I were to leave that open, of course, that would just slide right out. So we'll untie that, but that's the theory. So we're going to start with that. All we're doing is we're tying a knot around a cord. Now, we're going to leave ourselves a little bit more room this time. Okay, and you can leave yourself lots of room. Don't worry about that because at the end, you can take up all the slack. So here we go. We're going to go around just a few times before they tie that knot. And notice, as I do this, I'm going to create a little bit of a tunnel, okay? So I'll show you the tunnel in a moment. I've just gone over once. I'm going to go over again. This is an overhand knot. That's all this is. And I'm going to do this a few more times, okay? So I'm going to give myself lots of thread. Let's do that again. Not thread, cord. Okay, so there's one. We're going to leave ourselves a little room. We'll do another one. Leave ourselves a little room. Another. And now that we've got kind of three there, what we're going to do is we're going to take this end and we're going to go straight across inside that tunnel. So here's the little tunnel. Hopefully you can see the little tunnel right here. Let's see if that's showing up on our fancy little video equipment. Okay, so you put this right underneath and just slide. This may take some time, make a game out of it, have some fun with this. This is just a little bit of manual dexterity to get this right, okay? And so now you kind of have it done. It's really loose, right? I've tied it super loose. And I'm just going to take out the slack that I mentioned before. So I'm pulling here. I'm also kind of pulling here and twisting. The more slack you have, the more challenging that might be. So if you want to tie it a little tighter, but slipping that right through the middle is kind of the challenge if it's too tight when you first roll these over the top. Okay, so now we have this, and you see it's coming out really pretty. It's laying down really nicely. And this is a thicker cord, so it's really very evident. You can see how this works, but you may want something more delicate. You might want a cord that's not quite as thick as this, okay? So now I'm pulling a little bit on the side. I'm rolling this, pulling this, pulling this. Now, if you decided, oh man, you know, that's too much at the end, I need to cut that down, then you could snip this and then do the same thing with the fire to make that end really nice and just kind of, you know, put it out with your fingers very carefully. Or you could take a wrench, you could close it, not a wrench, you could take pliers. Pliers would do that for you very well. So if you're not wanting to burn your fingers, like most normal sane people, you could use a pair of pliers. Okay, cool. So here's the same thing. I'm just going to retie on the other side. Okay, so we have, as you can see, there's the knot and there's the end. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm just going to roll around the top, leaving a little space for my tunnel here, this little cord tunnel, 2, 3. And if you wanted to do more of these, I've chosen 3, but if you wanted to do more, you certainly could. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to thread it right through. I'm just kind of sliding it right through the middle there. And you can kind of do it one by one, or you can kind of create that tunnel where there's lots of space. And at the end, notice I'm just pulling that thread, kind of a little cord right through the middle. And we're going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling and sliding to get rid of all of that slack. And we've got plenty of necklace here to work with. So we're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. And then when we're done, we'll have a really pretty knot, just like that. It's super secure. And I would say a minimum of 3 times is the target. Okay, you could do 2, but I really say 3 would be the minimum. I mean, these items are expensive and they're valuable to us. Don't want to lose them, don't want to be without them. So let's create some good knots. And that's it. So when I'm done, I should be able to pull on the sides and have it pull towards the middle. Okay, now when you go to open this up, if you were to pull this all the way through, so these knots came together just like, you know, right next to each other, then it would be harder to open it up. So just as a normal practice, you probably don't want to pull too much unless that's the right sort of length of necklace that you want. So in this case, if I wanted to lengthen it, I could pull on this one and pull on this side. So I'm pulling with these 2 places, but if I tried to pull here, it wouldn't because it's attached over there. Okay, so the under one, if I were to pull the under one, then I have to switch my grip over here and pull on the under one. Okay, so they're just kind of matched. This one is matched to there, and this one is matched to here. So if you first pull on it, it doesn't make sense. Just change the combination of the ones you're pulling on. So if I tried here and it didn't work, then I'd pull here, and then that would work. But in this fact, it's that one. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. This is possibly the knottiest video that you watched all day. Possibly it wasn't, but I hope it was the best. And if you have questions, please let us know or post your comments just below this video. Thank you.